I'm Storm Track 12 Chief Meteorologist Skip Waters, tracking a wind shift that will take the smoke more toward the north and east late tonight and through the day on Tuesday. News Channel 12 at 11 starts right now.
Accurate and reliable, and voted Outstanding News Operation of the Year. This is News Channel 12 at 11.
Still spreading. A wildfire burns more than 17 square miles. We get the facts on a code red for parts of eastern Carolina. Good evening, I'm Valentina Wilson. Welcome to News Channel 12 at 11. West Goforth is off tonight. Nearly 11,000 acres have burned so far in the Croatan National Forest. It started as a control burn Thursday and morphed into a wildfire. That fire is burning in the Sheep Ridge Wilderness area in Craven County. None of the fire is contained. Many of us are seeing smoke and ash from that fire, and here's some pictures we received. Our own West Goforth sent this photo to us tonight from Emerald Isle. You can see a large plume of smoke above a playground. And we also have a photo from Cove City where the sky looks hazy, and that's the case in many areas tonight. News Channel 12's Mike Valerio got a chance to see the flames from high above. He's back on the ground tonight, live in the newsroom.
Yeah, Val, quite a sight at night to see this. Our plane was almost grounded because of the heavy and dense smoke. We took off just before 9 o'clock, though, and here's what we saw. As the sun sets over eastern North Carolina, the smoke thickens and the wildfire grows in the Croatan National Forest. 8,000 acres Monday morning, now more than 10,000 acres of ash below.
Geez, that one is really glowing at 1 o'clock.
New Bern pilot Breck Neer took us over the front lines, the glowing embers visible from 1,400 feet. This was the largest part of the blaze we could see through the dense smoke right next to the Great Lake. About 50 homes are below, evacuations not yet ordered. What struck us from above was how far the flames are spread, acres between many of the hotspots.
When I think of a forest fire, I think of one big area, and it's kind of like connect the dots almost here.
Directly in front of us is the center of the wildfire. With smoke so dense, we'd be taking a chance to fly through it. Soon, the plume will change directions as the winds shift. We're coming in over downtown New Bern, and so far you can pretty much see the city, but come Tuesday, you won't be able to see any of it as the smoke pushes northward. It's going to be a very different picture tomorrow. For now, crews say the blaze could last for weeks, smoke here reaching as far as Charleston and Raleigh. And of course, Val, this started off as a controlled burn, so we asked crews before we took off, why did this get out of control? And they told me simply they don't have a pinpointed cause yet. It could have been anything from an ember just getting, past the fire line to just a wind direction that they didn't predict. They're still trying to find out a cause, but that's what we have from the newsroom. We're live. Mike Valerio, News Channel 12.
And Mike, even at our studios, you can see the smoke and you can definitely smell it. You might be curious if the smoke impacts flights in and out of our area. Commercial flights are not affected, we're told. Private pilots in smaller planes, though, are being advised to stay on the ground until visibility is above 5 miles. Some of us may have had a hard time breathing today, and the same case for tomorrow because of that fire. Skip is tracking the smoke. He's also keeping an eye on the tropics tonight. He's in the Storm Track 12 Weather Center.
We're going to start off with Storm Track 12 live Doppler and show you that while there's plenty of smoke around, there's no rain. And in fact, the storms that we'd been tracking earlier up in Virginia have died off as they've tried to move to the south as well. So the fire is the big thing. Right now, winds have gone calm in a couple of spots, still stirring out of the southeast in places. You'll notice that the visibility, let me pull that up for you. The visibility is down to 2 miles at New Bern. It's been down there for the past 3 hours. Greenville had been down to 4 miles, back up to 10. Today, the smoke came out of the southeast on the wind from the southeast, blowing toward New Bern and into Jones County. Tonight, we've seen that wind make a shift or start to shift around to the southwest. That means the smoke is going to be worst over extreme eastern Jones County, extreme central Craven County and eastern Craven County, the western parts of Pamlico County from about Reelsboro to Olympia and Alliance, southeastern corner of Beaufort County and up into Hyde County. The worst of it coming tonight and tomorrow morning. Fire's really not going anywhere, so I suspect that we're going to be dealing with smoke in one form or another for quite some time.
We are learning more tonight about the murders of a Carteret County father and son. Two of the suspects are Navy corpsmen based at Camp Lejeune. Albert Carell and his dad, Dwayne Carell, were shot and killed at their home in Beaufort June 2nd. Investigators say Joseph Parada and Javen Davis plotted the crime. Deputies tell us the two used a borrowed car to follow the victims back to their home on the day of the killings. That car was later found in South Carolina. Lead investigator Captain Jason Wank says the two stole an undisclosed amount of money. Wank says a third suspect, Brandon Smallwood, allegedly lied about Parada and Davis's whereabouts. Authorities arrested the trio last Friday. During a news conference today, investigators credited the multiple agencies that assisted them.
The working relationships established during this investigation were law enforcement at its finest. Members of different agencies all working together for a common goal and with a singular mission to bring justice for the victims and their families.
The men are due back in court in July. We did some digging today and uncovered some new facts about the accused killers. Camp Lejeune officials say both Brandon Smallwood and Jaden Davis were stationed at Naval Hospital at Camp Lejeune at the time of the murders. Both sailors worked in administrative positions at the hospital. Smallwood, who's charged with 2 counts of accessory after the fact, is from Texas. He's been in the Navy since April of 2011. Davis, who's charged with 2 counts of murder, is from North Carolina and has been in the Navy since January 2010. Parada was stationed at Cherry Point prior to being discharged. He also faces 2 counts of murder. A man is killed at a Martin County park. That shooting happened early yesterday morning at Maratock Park off River Drive in Williamston. Residents say a DJ originally from Williamston threw a party Saturday night. Witnesses say the crowd got rowdy once the party ended and a fight broke out. Police responded about 2 a.m. Sunday. The victim, 22-year-old Travis Freeman of Oak City, died at Martin General Hospital. No word on the suspect or a motive. A North Carolina soldier dies in Afghanistan. 30-year-old Sergeant Nicholas Fredsty was based at Fort Bragg. He died Friday when insurgents attacked his unit. He was from California. A 6-year-old girl is recovering tonight after a shark attack. The call came into 911 about 11:30 this morning of a shark attack off Ocean Isle Beach, that's south of Wilmington. Debbie Smith, the mayor of Ocean Isle Beach, says the little girl was in shallow water when a small shark attacked her. Emergency responders say the girl had a few puncture wounds on her leg. Mayor Smith says there have not been any more sightings, but crews will continue to monitor the shore. A series of taped jailhouse phone calls between George Zimmerman and his wife are now public. As TJ Winnick shows us, the calls were used to revoke Zimmerman's bond and to support charges against his wife.
The tapes are 6 jailhouse conversations, mostly between George Zimmerman and his wife Shelley. They would eventually lead to Zimmerman having his bail revoked and his wife's arrest, both accused of lying about how much money they really had.
Okay, so total everything, how much are we looking at?
Like $155.
The family didn't just have $155, they had $155,000. The two can also be heard speaking in code, using names like Peter Pan and Wendy.
They were using code words, thinking that the police are just going to be real stupid.
Much of the Zimmerman's money came through the website therealgeorgezimmerman.com, set up to pay for his defense. Its popularity was a confidence booster for Zimmerman, who was still in jail before his initial bond hearing.
Your site kept crashing.
Wow.
Because people were just trying to give you, words of support and kindness.
Okay. Wow, that is awesome.
But the calls also reveal the shooting suspect's genuine concern for his wife, urging her to wear a bulletproof vest, fearful some may try and avenge the shooting death of Florida teen Trayvon Martin.
We need to get on it ASAP because, first of all, I want you wearing one.
Okay.
As uncomfortable as it is, I want you wearing one.
Zimmerman's attorney has said his client and his wife weren't purposely trying to deceive the court, that the whole thing was really a big misunderstanding. TJ Winnick, ABC News, New York.
George Zimmerman is due back in court for a new bond hearing June 29th. Here's another case of keeping up with the Joneses in the tech world. Microsoft unveils a new tablet computer to compete with Apple's iPad. CEO Steve Ballmer made the announcement today. He says the tablet is part of a whole new family of devices the company is developing. The tablet comes with a kickstand to hold it upright and a keyboard that's part of the device's cover. It weighs just under 1.5 pounds. The verdict is in for former All-Star baseball pitcher. After 5 years of scrutiny, Roger Clemens walks. We show you what his attorneys are saying tonight. Plus, lots of questions surrounding the death of Rodney King, what police are saying about how he died.
Chief Meteorologist Skip Waters tracking mainly clear skies, some areas of dense smoke, but no rain. No rain, at least not tonight. The forecast is next on WCTI News Channel 12.
Checking the facts to get information right. You're watching News Channel 12 with Valentina Wilson, Wes Goforth, and Storm Track 12 Chief Meteorologist Skip Waters. News Channel 12, accurate and reliable. Storm Track 12 weather is brought to you by Dairy Queen. Alerting you to severe weather dangers in eastern Carolina. This is Storm Track 12 Chief Meteorologist Skip Waters.
Well, I'd like to tell you that I'm tracking some rain on Storm Track 12 Live Doppler because we need some rain in places across the east, but there's nothing out there. And the storms we were tracking earlier in Virginia have fallen apart as they've moved to the south, so it's going to be kind of tough to get any rain out of the sky tonight. Winds have gone calm in a couple places, but notice we have a little southeast to south breeze stirring at around 3 to 8 miles an hour. Now that should limit fog development, but it is moving the smoke around, and it will cause the smoke to combine with a deck of low clouds late tonight, early tomorrow morning. For the past 3 hours, visibility's been down to 2 miles at Coastal Carolina Airport in New Bern. Greenville had seen some of the smoke earlier with visibility down to 4 miles, back up to 10 now. But this is primarily going to be a problem for areas north of the fire and east of the fire tomorrow. Today the winds were from the southeast, and it blew the smoke primarily across the eastern parts of Onslow County, the western parts of Carteret County, eastern Jones, Craven, and into parts of Pamlico. But tonight these winds are making a shift around to the south and the southwest, and tomorrow that smoke will primarily affect the extreme eastern parts of Jones County along the Highway 17 corridor up to about Ernle and Askin, over to about Tuscarora and Clarks, then over across Aurora, much of Pamlico County, west of about Reelsboro and parts of down East Carteret County, with the worst of that being right around the fire tonight, and then those winds picking up a little bit, causing the major problems to shift toward the north and the east. Now I want to show you the air quality map. The code red means that the air is unhealthy, and if you have breathing difficulties or sensitivities, you may want to have a face mask on tomorrow if you live from the fire in the Croatan up into Jones County along Highway 17. This would include Stella and Pelletier up to about Belgrade, and then Maysville up to about Pollocksville and Riverbend and New Bern, over to about Clarks along the bypass in Craven County, up to about Ernle and Askin, over to Caton, almost up to Aurora, and then down to Alliance through Fairfield Harbor. That's where it's red. Now the orange air quality, that's not healthy air, but it's not quite as bad, and there will be smoke possible everywhere east of I-95. All right, let's head back over to the Storm Track computer and show you that we also have some tropical weather. Possibility this could become a tropical storm, subtropical storm headed away from us. A lot going on in the Gulf before the week's over. Likely going to be talking about some tropical development down there. But locally, areas of smoke give us a medium risk for some hazards to your health and safety tomorrow, and heat on Thursday. But right now, Wednesday looks like it won't quite be hot enough for heat advisories. Temps in the mid-60s right now. We're not going to cool a whole lot. Some spots are still in low 70s, but don't expect it to go much more down than the mid-60s. 82 tomorrow with a high of about 86. Now, Futurecast sees rain where there isn't rain, so we're going to discount that. I can't totally rule out an early morning shower in the Albemarle Sound down across mainland Dare County and the northern Outer Banks. Then in the afternoon, the sea breeze makes it way far inland. Could see a shower at Wilson, western parts of Pitt County, but no widespread rain. This is interesting. The statistical guidance for rain on Wednesday is low, but this particular model really wants to blow the sea breeze up in the afternoon. We'll have to study the models for another day, but that would be much needed rainfall in a place that really needs it, right over the fire, if that could happen Wednesday. Starlit skies tonight through the high thin clouds. Smoke and low clouds develop after midnight, mid-60s. Already got a lot of smoke out there. Upper 70s at the beach tomorrow, 84 to 88 for most of us under a mix of sun and clouds. The smoke will be an issue all day tomorrow in the places we showed you. A slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. I think we'll be upping the chances on Wednesday. Another decent chance of showers and storms on Saturday, but smoke and heat will be the big thing for the next several days.
We're going to continue to track it. His beating by Los Angeles police set off a series of riots. Tonight, we're learning more about the death of Rodney King, why his fiancée says she couldn't pull him from the bottom of a pool. When you see news happen, let us know. Give us a call at 800-738-6840. Send an email or make a comment on our Facebook page. You're watching News Channel 12 at 11. Thanks for watching News Channel 12 at 11. I'm Valentina Wilson. New details tonight on the death of Rodney King. An autopsy was performed today, but the results will not be announced for several weeks. Melissa McBride has the latest.
In the swimming pool where Rodney King enjoyed countless hours over the years, he spent the last morning of his life. Police say his fiancée, Cynthia Kelly, heard a splash just before 5:30 Sunday morning. She went outside and saw him in the bottom of the pool.
The fiancée is not a good swimmer. She chose to dial 911. She did make several attempts to try and pull him out of the pool, but was unable to.
Wearing full gear, Rialto police officers jumped in and pulled King out of the water, but he was unresponsive.
It was such a short life, and we're going to miss him terribly. He was a really good neighbor.
King's family members, stunned to receive the news of his death on Father's Day, arrived at the home, including one of his 3 daughters and his cousin, Corey Hudson.
He likes to swim like all hours of the night, you know, so I don't know what happened.
Rodney King first made headlines in 1991 when this video aired showing LAPD officers beating him after the end of a pursuit. They were tried and acquitted the following year. The shocking verdict triggered the LA riots. In the wake of the violence, King issued his famous plea.
Can we all get along?
In the 20 years since the riots, he had other run-ins with the law and battled addiction. He appeared on a reality TV show to turn his life around, and just 2 months ago, he sat down with Eyewitness News and reflected on the night the camera was rolling.
I was so happy that it was on tape, and then I was looking at it, it was like me being in another body. I felt like I died in that one and just watching it.
Police say they believe his death was an accidental drowning and they don't suspect foul play.
There was no obvious outward signs of any alcohol presence during the investigation and or any controlled substances that might indicate that it was involved.
Melissa McBride with that story tonight. A cause of death will not be determined until after investigators have toxicology results. Now, those results may take 6 weeks to come in. Closing arguments could begin as soon as Thursday in Jerry Sandusky's sex abuse trial. The former Penn State assistant football coach is accused of molesting 10 boys over a 15-year period. The prosecution wrapped up this morning and Sandusky's attorneys began their case. They called 2 former Penn State coaches to discuss how Sandusky was admired in the community. The judge says the defense will likely wrap up by Wednesday. That means closing arguments and jury deliberations could begin as early as Thursday. Sandusky has pleaded not guilty. Roger Clemens' trial comes to an end. The pitching star is no longer catching heat. We have reaction to the verdict next on News Channel 12 at 11. The rehabilitation of one of baseball's all-time greats is in full swing tonight. Just hours ago, a jury in Washington, D.C. acquitted former pitching star Roger Clemens on charges that he lied to Congress about using performance-enhancing drugs. Karen Travers checks the facts.
An emotional Roger Clemens, one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history.
I put a lot of hard work into that career.
He's talking about a career that was derailed under a cloud of suspicion that he used performance-enhancing drugs.
When a man says he didn't do it, let's at least start out giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Despite repeated denials, Clemens did not get that benefit of the doubt from fans or the government. Prosecutors charged him with lying under oath to Congress in a nationally televised hearing.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
He denied using steroids or HGH as a fastballing pitcher.
Let me be clear. I have never taken steroids or HGH.
4 years and a mistrial later, the jury spoke, acquitting Clemens of all charges.
I hope those in the public that made up their mind before there was a trial will now back up and entertain the possibility of what he has always said. Using steroid and HGH is cheating, and it was totally contrary to his entire career.
During the time that I worked with Roger Clemens, I injected
The government built its case on Clemens' strength coach, who testified he injected Clemens with steroids.
It's kind of uncomfortable for me to sit there and hear people talk about you, good or bad.
The jury's verdict may improve Clemens' chances of getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He's on the ballot for the first time this December. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
With that wildfire burning in Craven County, we'll be looking to clear the air anytime soon. Skip is coming back to check the forecast next.
And now, Drew Hinesley with News Channel 12 Sports.
The Charlotte Observer is reporting that the Charlotte Bobcats have hired St. John's assistant Mike Dunlap to be their new head coach. This comes as a bit of a surprise since Dunlap was not considered by many to be a finalist for the job. A formal announcement from the team is expected in the next 48 hours. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been voted the most popular driver in NASCAR the last 9 years. That does not mean he's been the most successful. Entering yesterday's race in Michigan, he had not won in 143 races spanning 4 years. Jr. had long grown tired of talking about the streak, and now he doesn't have to anymore. He was dominant yesterday, as you see right here, pulling away from Tony Stewart. And the noise you heard yesterday was Earnhardt Nation exhaling and then celebrating. Junior's victory wasn't complete, though, and he was a little bit nervous until it was official.
That's the worst feeling, riding around there with 15 laps to go, wondering what was going to happen. How you were going to lose. Yeah, I just knew I was going to come around the next corner and see a piece of metal laying in the racetrack. I just was waiting on something to happen, you know, so that was terrifying, to be honest with you.
End of it all, Junior was able to go to a place he had not been in 4 long years, Victory Lane, and the celebration began at that point. And I'm told there were just 1 or 2 parties outside of Victory Lane as well last night. Now to golf, where Raleigh native Webb Simpson captured our national championship at the U.S. Open in San Francisco. Simpson used a pair of 2 under 68s over the weekend to secure the win. Strangely enough, he never led the event while he was playing. He would post a 1 over par score and then watch and wait in the clubhouse while the leaders stumbled down the stretch. It was this chip shot on 18 that may have been the defining shot of the championship, considering the pressure of the moment. After Graham McDowell missed this putt that would have forced a Monday playoff, Webb Simpson was your U.S. Open champion. It was only his 5th major championship, golf's toughest events. The victory has taken the golf world by surprise, and even Simpson is a little shocked.
I couldn't have imagined that, you know, I'd be a U.S. Open champion this early in my career, but I'm thrilled and excited as can be.
Simpson tied at Raleigh's Broughton High School and then went on to Wake Forest University on an Arnold Palmer scholarship. And the 2 men have grown to know each other very well over the years. In a bit of symmetry, the Olympic Club, where Simpson claimed his greatest victory, is the site of Palmer's greatest defeat. A final check of your forecast with Skip when we return from the break. You're watching News Channel 12.
And here's another look at the exclusive video we shot tonight in an airplane overlooking the Croatan National Forest. Big flames and lots of smoke. It's going to be bothering people tomorrow, and sensitive groups will need to take some precautions, but that fire is still burning a little under 11,000 acres right now, so it's a pretty large fire. Started Thursday as a control burn. Now, as you can see, it's out of control. Mike Valerio went up today to get this video for us, and we'll continue to cover this developing story. Skip?
Well, it's going to be interesting because today the winds were out of the southeast and the worst smoke blew to the northwest from the fire, which meant Craven, Jones, southern Lenoir, western Craven County, Carteret County. Now, the wind's going to blow southwest tonight, so the shift of the smoke is going to be northward, and this would be right along Highway 17, starting at about Belgrade and Maysville in Jones County, up through Pollocksville to Riverbend, over to about Clarkson, Tuscarora, up to Ernle and Askin, over to about Alliance and Olympia and Pamlico County, maybe down to Reelsboro. That's where it's going to be the worst. There will be a lot of smoke around tomorrow. So just bear that in mind. Your forecast, though, says for the balance of the night tonight, low temperature readings will be in the mid-60s. Lingering smoke tomorrow, a chance of an isolated thunderstorm or two, but rain will be hard to come by. Mix of sun and clouds, highs in the mid-80s. I think we're going to be upping the chances of rain Wednesday, which is a good thing, especially because it looks like some of those showers could be near where the fire is.
That would be some great news. Any rain will help, and like you said, as long as we don't get anything severe. Thanks for joining us tonight. Check our website overnight for updates on this fire. We'll see you tomorrow.